We'll be modeling a Chevrolet Camaro 1967 model. But before I do, I would like to formally introduce you to my channel. My name is Obina Chikwendu. I'm a software developer and a graphics enthusiast. My channel is wholly dedicated to graphics technologies, graphics tools, graphics creation. For those of you who are not new to my channel, you may have observed that so far I have a few C++ beginner tutorials. The purpose of that is to build up to a point where, irrespective of your level of development, you can follow along in the rest of my videos. The target of this channel is to introduce and collaborate with people out there who are, like I am, interested in graphics. So throughout the course of this, we'll be going over quite a number of graphics tools, graphics technologies, and every once in a while we'll dabble into art, specifically graphics art, utilizing the latest graphics tools we have and trying to break it down as much as we can. So if you're interested in graphics, or you're looking for a profession in graphics, be it just the technology, or you're an artist, or you're a developer looking to build things like games, this channel is for you. So let's begin. Today we'll be using Blender, a free and open source tool. You can download it from this site, blender.org. As you can see, a new version is out, 2.83.2 LTS. LTS standing for long-term support, I believe. So if you come to this site, you'll be presented with this screen as at today, and then you can click on download to download the latest version. I'm currently going to be using Blender 2.82, which is not too far from this. I'm too lazy to start downloading a new version and using it, but I would recommend that you actually at all times use the newest version, because there are a lot of features they add in these versions, and things like render speed increases dramatically with each release, because there are lots of bug fixes. So feel free to come to the site. It's blender.org, and then download, install. The process is pretty easy. Now I would assume that to a degree my audience understand the idea behind 3D modeling, sculpting, and the likes. If you don't, I would suggest you just snoop around for what it is all about. I will try to keep this tutorial as beginner friendly as possible. We could call it that. It's actually more a how I kind of video, how I model my cars or vehicles. So when you first launch Blender, you will be presented with this interface. It's a splash screen that shows you quite a number of options. You can create new files, you can open recently opened files. So far you can see some of the practice I've been doing, and I can click any of them to just continue from where I stopped. I could just click general, 2D animation, sculpting, VFX, video editing to proceed with a new project. Now general is more general. It can give you options to do all these other things. So I'll just click on general, and then I'm presented with the interface. Okay, so a very quick recap of what we have. We have our menu bar, and then up top here, from here to here, we can see various layouts that allow different aspects of modeling, sculpting, UV editing, texture painting, shading, animation, rendering, compositing, and scripting. So far we'll be doing modeling. Sculpting is a little bit like modeling, but that's not what we'll be doing today. And in the course of this, this series where we'll be modeling this car, we will model, we will UV edit, we will do some texture painting, we'll do some shading, we'll do some rendering, and so this should be a very good introduction for anybody who wants to get into 3D modeling. So and directly under my menu bar is just a few extra options that we'll look at in the course of this video. And then below that is our main screen where we'll be doing much of the work. And so far we see a box, we can navigate around it, we can roll the screen, we can pan around, and we can zoom in and out. We can see a few other objects like this is our camera, this is a light. And for any object selected, we can see to the right our scene collection. So we will refer to this as our scene. Our scene is like our view into the 3D world. And in our view, we have our camera, our cube. We can select it this way, and our light. We can also select by just left clicking on the various items in object mode. Now, to the right of our scene, we can see a series of gizmos that we can use to manipulate objects in our scene. So for instance, we have the select gizmo selected that allows us to select different objects or sub-objects. We have our move gizmo, which allows us to manipulate various objects and sub-objects. We can move an object in any given direction or directions. We can rotate our object in any given direction. We can scale our object in any given direction. And then to the bottom we have our animation window. We won't be doing anything here, so I'll hide it for a moment. Most of our windows are resizable, so we can increase it or decrease it to our taste. And then below our scene collection window is a series of command tools that we can click and do a little bit more editing with. More on that as we proceed. So for now, we'll just hold back on going through the interface. About navigation, I'll present us with a series of command shortcuts, Blender shortcuts that are constantly used. Okay, so before we start, we need to get what we refer to as blueprint. We need a blueprint of our model, which is like a plan for what the car or vehicle looks like. So we'll be presented with side view with top view, front and a back view. Another thing I decided to do is I decided to cut parts of my code. So I have the back view, the front view, the the side view and the top view. Now we don't need to do this, I just do this because it's more convenient. Now we can get these blueprints by just googling, we could just type the name of the car, Camaro, Chevrolet, okay, blueprint, and we can see a list of blueprints. We just pick the one we want. I'd also advise that we get as much reference images that shows the car from different angles, like I have done here. Okay, so if we just scroll through, we can see the car from behind, from the front at different angles, and different parts of the car, if you will. Okay, so first things first, we'll need to load the reference into our scene. We can do that by dragging them into the scene. We just select a reference and drag it into our scene. But before we do that, I'll need to go into different views, and we have, by hitting on the numpad keys 1 through to 7, we can actually toggle to different views. So 1 gives us our front view, 3 gives us our right view, 7 gives us our top view. Now with control, we can get to control 1 to the back view, control 3 to the left view, and control 7 to the bottom view. Alternatively, we can get to any view and toggle to the opposite side of that view using the 9. So top view 9, bottom view 9. If we go to the front view, hitting 9 takes us to the back view. If we go to the right view, hitting 9 takes us to the left view. Okay, so we will position our view appropriately. So in this case, you can see the view here, left orthographic. So we go to the left view and then drag in our left view from here. So with this, I'll just drag and drop into the left view, our left view. We can then hit our manipulate gizmo and then just reposition this. We can also scale it appropriately. I'll then go to my front view and grab both my front and my back view. Okay, you can see it's scaled differently, but never mind, we will address that. I'll just reposition this slightly. Okay, and then finally I will get my top view, but before that I will have to hit 7 to go to the top view and then drag my top view into my scene. So if we rotate the scene, and we can do that using Alt left click. I'm assuming you're using a mouse, a laptop here. If you're using a desktop, it might be slightly different. I'll get you the details on how to navigate around your view using that way. Now to rotate about the view, you use Alt left click. To pan about the view, you use Shift Alt left click. And to zoom into and out of the view, use Control Alt left click. You can just use your scroll wheel, which is not as accurate. Going into my scene, I'll just reposition this. Just move this away, grab this, go back to my front view, position it such that it nearly matches my other view, then navigate away again, then push it away, and then I'll grab this, push it way into the distance, and grab this. Then I think I need to rotate this, and just simply hit this, and then start the process of rotating. And so I select this and just, make sure I have it by 90 degrees exactly. Okay. And I'll just hit my move gizmo again and just align it properly. Okay, so I'll be using this box as my reference. I'll use Shift Z or Shift Z to make it transparent, and then I'll move it to the top like so. Just go to the front view, or rather to the left view, zoom in, and then ensure that it's just sitting down on our base. Also grab this reference and just move it down a bit so that the tires is touching the plane. So using this box, I want to create a reference. I will move into edit mode. I can either come here and click this, or just hit tab on my keyboard. I will then select face edit mode. I can click here or just hit 3, select the top face, select the move gizmo, go back to my right view, and then push this such that it's just at the top of the car. Mark you not the top of my reference, but the top of my car. Then I'll go back to this view, go back to front view or right view, and push this such that it's just at the base of the car. Rotate, take this, go back to front view, and push it such that it's just at the base, the front of the car. Okay, so I have I've set up the right part. So we'll go to the top. I'll hit 7 on the numpad key, and then I guess I need to realign my reference. So I'll select the reference. I'll click out of edit mode, select the reference. Okay, and then try to move my reference just inside the box. Now if we come here, we can see the back is not hitting the tail of the back, so that's what I'm trying to align. I'll just push this so that it gets to the tip, and I expect that it's touching the front, and yes it is. So the top and the left are properly aligned. Okay, as you can see. Okay, so next thing is to do the same with the front and the back. So selecting 1 and 9, I'll hide one of these first of all. Let me hide the front. I'll do that by clicking this I button here to toggle between showing and hiding an item. So you can see my item is hidden, and then I can see my back, which is obviously too big, so I'll just scale it down. And I can do that by hitting the scale gizmo, selecting this green part which scales both the X, the Z and the Y axis. You can see it here. You can see our orientation using this. So scaling down just so that the car fits, just basically fits in, and then let's do that again. Okay. And then dragging this just so that the tire touches the ground. Oh, I think I forgot something, so I'll go to the top view again. I think the mistake I made here is I needed to, my box, I didn't reference this top properly. I want this left side to just barely scrape the left side of the car and the right side to do the same. So I'll select my box, go to edit mode, select my box, go to edit mode, select this face, you can see because it was see-through, it was selecting the inner face, which wasn't my intention. So I'll just have to Shift Z to make it to make it a solid object. Select the face I want and then toggle back. Hit 7 on my keyboard, zoom in, and then just let it touch the base of that part. I'll do the same for this angle. Shift Z, select, Shift Z, top view, drag it in. Okay, so that's it. That's about it. Okay, so going back to my front view. Of course, you can see from my front view, I'm actually looking at the back of my car. Okay, and then let me select top, toggle top, toggle back, 3, 1, 3, and then as I can see, I'm actually just at the tip of the top of the vehicle, I guess. I think let me just push it up a bit. Okay, so that if I hit my 1, so I can see that this guy isn't properly aligned. It's squashed a bit, so I'll have to just, and besides this is not, this should touch the sides of our box. So I'm going to select the reference, ensure that it's the reference that I selected. Hit tab to go into object mode, select the reference, select scale and scale down. Okay, scale just, okay, perfect. And then scale up. Just ensure that this aligns properly. Scale it up a little bit more. So that's done. I'll just double click on this and then rename it as back so that I know what I'm dealing with. Okay, select this reference, double click on this and rename it as top. Then select this, double click and rename it as left. Okay, then I'll bring back my front view. I'll hide my back view. Okay, so when I hit 1, okay, I can see this is too big. I can then scale it down, scale it down, push it in here, try to push it to the center of the vehicle so that when I scale, I'm not having any problems. Scale it back up. Not exactly at the center. Okay, then I can hit the scale and scale it back up. Okay, so there we have it. I'll rename this as front. Okay, so another thing I'll do is I'll just rearrange my collection so that I'll just rearrange the collection. And what would I do? I'll just rename this as references, create a new collection by right clicking on the scene, new, double click to rename this. I'll call this light, create a new collection, right click, new, cameras, and then new, meshes. Just think of this as folder, like you think of folder structures, and I can put in folders in folders and just reorganize my scene. So I'll select all my lights. For now I have only one in my scene. Where's my light? I'll drag my light. Oh, sorry, that's not my light, that's my light collection. Where is my light? This is my light. Okay, drag my light into my lights collection. Okay, then drag my camera into my camera collection. And where is my mesh? My box, my cube. Grab my cube and put it into my meshes collection. So that way I can, I have more control over how to select items in my collection. Now another thing I want to do is this light is disturbing me and I don't need to see it for now. So I'll just hide my light collection. Oh, sorry, that's the camera. I'll hide my light, I'll hide my camera. So I'm not seeing them anymore. Okay, and finally, my references, I don't want to accidentally select them in the scene while I'm modeling, as you can see. So what I will do is I will come to the top here, select this, which is selectable, selectable gizmo thingy, which allows me to determine whether I can select an item or not. And then in my references folder or collection, I'll just hit this, preventing me from selecting the specific references. Okay, so if I try to click on them, you'll see they are not selectable. I can select other things, but I can't select them. Okay, and then finally I'll save this. I'll save this as, I already started this project at some point, but I'll come here, I'll just save this 1967 Camaro Chevrolet. Okay, just give it a different spelling from the last one, more appropriate spelling, and then I'll use an _1. Just add a 0 in front of the 1 and then save. Okay, so when we come back in the next video, we will start the process of modeling. Remember to like, comment, hit the notification button, and subscribe. And please do remember to share this video with friends and family, your children, your parents, anybody who might be interested. Do have a lovely day.